Did I record? Yes, I am recording. And for those of you who are joining us on YouTube after the show, please know that you're always welcome to join us at Lillian's radio show on Facebook Live. Today we have Jason Stephenson. You will fall in love with his YouTube channel, Jason Stephenson Meditations, but you can find him in so many different locations. He has the best fans ever, and I'm sure all of you will agree. For those of you, because once in a while I'll look down and I'll see like 100 messages for Jason Stephenson. But I'm just glad that we have this time today. We're going to be talking about love and the miracle of love, which has prompted me to dive again into A Course of Miracles. And Jason, thank you for challenging me and raising the bar to the next level. So we're not going to be taking any breaks, but we will take some time out to look at what you guys are all saying and sending love. And so fasten your seatbelts because we are going to learn and grow together. And here goes, the mics will be muted.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this best day ever. And for those of you who have been tuning into the show since 2011, or maybe you just tuned in for the first time yesterday, welcome back. But if this is the first time that you have been stumbled upon the show, or somebody said, hey, you need to listen to Jason Stephenson today, then welcome. I have been waiting for you. And please know that this is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, once a month, we get to enjoy Jason Stephenson on the show. As you all know, meditation can change your entire frame of mind. It can dictate how your day will be. And it will also fill you up with, I would say, a kind of essence or maybe intuition, or help you tap into that source within you so that it will change your entire life. So in comes Jason Stephenson. I found out about him from a friend of mine. She said, oh, I fall asleep with Jason every night. Well, let me listen to this wonderful guy. And I fell in love with Jason from the moment I said, hello. Since the moment I heard his voice, I fell in love with him. And Jason, for the last 15 years, has been focused on relaxation, meditation. He's got one of the largest YouTube channel, over 1 million followers, and they love him, and I do too. So every month we get together and we have this wonderful chat, unrehearsed. I have no idea what he's going to say, but it's always very powerful, and he raises us up to that next level. So today we're going to be talking about another thing that raises us to that next level, and that is love. The greatest of these is love. And we're going to talk about how love is a miracle. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful that Jason Stephenson of Jason Stephenson Meditation is here to do just that. Welcome, Jason, to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show.
Hello, Lillian. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here as always, Lillian. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So I am, we only were able to talk for like a few seconds before the show. And so I had mentioned to you, I had asked if you had been doing the Course in Miracles, and that's what prompted me to dive into, because I interviewed Gary Gerard. He wrote, oh gosh, what's the name of the book?
Something to do with happiness?
Gary Renard, A Disappearing Universe.
Okay, no.
So it was like his version of A Course in Miracles. And so everybody has this experience, but I want to hear, and we want to hear about your experience within A Course in Miracle, and how did you stumble upon it?
Well, interesting. I started the Course in Miracles. I've actually started it twice before, and I'd heard about it many years ago, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. At that time, I didn't pick it up. I thought, oh, maybe another time I'll get to it. Maybe 5 years ago, I purchased A Course in Miracles and started it once, got to about day 7 and thought, no, this is not working. Then about 2 years ago, I started it again and didn't pick it up then, but now I've started it, and maybe it's the right timing, maybe it's divine timing, but it's time. And I feel I'm only just starting. I'm only up to, week 2 now, 14 days.
Oh, so you went past the, 7 days, or what was the first time? It was 10 days?
Yeah. I think it was 10 days the first time or something. And I'm up to week 2 now, 14 days. And I'm in for the ride now, and I'm listening to a lot of interpretations of it as well. So that's helping me along. So it's really beautiful.
So explain what A Course of Miracles is in a nutshell. If you had an elevator, if we were riding up to the 34th floor and you wanted to tell me all about the Course of Miracles, what would you say in that 34 seconds?
It's interesting you say that, because someone asked me the other day, I recommended it. They said, what's it about? And of course, me stumbling over words, I just went, oh, wow. Like, you've just got to get it. Please get it. Just do yourself.
That doesn't work, does it? That never works, Jason.
I was just like, but maybe it was the energy. They said, oh, okay, I'm just pouring up. But basically it is about, I think it's about uncovering, lifting the veil of life and uncovering the illusions that so many of us are stuck in. That we're thinking that our thoughts are real, and what we perceive out there is external to us, and yet rather it's just all a projection of what is happening within us. Mm-hmm. And it's a really just a beautiful concept when it begins to sink in. So I hope that sort of covered some of it.
Yeah, no, we got to go deeper. We're going to go deeper, right? Everybody who's watching today wants Jason to go deeper. And I want to say hi to all of you who have joined us. For now, I'm seeing all this love come up on the screen, and I have like 2 computers, but my focus right now is Jason, and I hope that we all learn from this conversation as well. So when you're saying that one of the things that is hard to grasp is that nothing real can be threatened, but nothing unreal exists. So we're looking at the reality of what is real and what is unreal. So let's talk about the truth about love. Let's talk about this truth that many of us have kind of cheapened. We have diluted. We have made convenient. So let's talk about love and what you have gotten from these 14 days about this.
Well, this is not just obviously about the Course in Miracles. This is also my experience over many years, of course. But So speaking about like the miracle of love, you know, we don't have to meditate 24 hours a day like a guru. We don't have to bang shamanic drums. We don't have to have thousands of subscribers on YouTube or Facebook to feel any love or
I do.
anything.
I do. I want 1 million followers, Jason. So go ahead, keep going.
And so really it's already there within us. And I think what our job is, and I'm going to read you a Rumi quote, but what our job is to break down the barriers that we have placed in front of us. And I've just got this quote here, which is said perfectly by Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And that, I think that is our job whilst we are here. We were born perfect and complete.
Yes.
And as time has gone by, more and more of these walls, you know, this conditioning of, you know, the beliefs that have been sent to us, and we've taken on those. And now it's time to pull them down and to lift the veil and see the real us, you and me, which is one anyway.
Yes, we are all one.
No separation.
There isn't any separation. I was talking to someone from Israel today, and we could have had a 5-hour conversation and not run out of things to talk about. When you choose love, that's the greatest choice of all. Love is a choice, but yet we make up so many different things about love. And I remember talking to, have you ever read the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz?
No, I can't say I have.
It's a great read. Well, Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. has been on my show. And I remember saying, I wrote an article called Unconditional Love is Abuse. It's like, you know, unconditional love is not love. And he corrected me. And he said, unconditional love is love. And I said, no, it's not. It's abuse. And so we went back on that, back and forth, and it was respectful. He wasn't trying to convince me. I wasn't trying to convince him. It was my perspective and his perspective. Love is love. And so when we love, we accept the person, but we need to determine whether or not that behavior is acceptable in our life. But there's a difference between if you don't do this, I won't love you, which I was told at the age of 10 by my grandmother on my father's side, that if I stopped learning how to play the piano, that she would stop loving me. Well, I stopped learning how to play the piano, so I made up about myself that I was unlovable. So here's this little 9-year-old little girl, you know, growing up to be an adult, making that true. Making that truth. And that's what we make up about ourselves. So for me, that conditional love was not love. I know she was trying to motivate me, but she didn't do it in the right way, the way I needed to be motivated. So perhaps maybe she did it in a different way, but that's what I heard. So there's so many different variations of that story.
That brings me to a point that I want to bring up, and that is that generosity is a key of love.
Okay.
But it starts with giving to ourselves first. And this is so important because, like you say, you know, when we've had things ripped away from us, many of us, all of us during our childhood, and teens and even into adulthood. And we have to really recognize that we can only give what we have within us. We can't give more than that. And so if we're lacking of love within us, then we're only going to be giving so much of that. And so generosity, which is a beautiful thing to give and to be of service. And I'm not just speaking financially here. I'm talking about, you know, giving yourself
unconditional
time, giving yourself first, and giving others time. It might be listening to someone. They're all beautiful. They're beautiful acts of love. But we've got to fill our own cup And in doing so, remember that there's no separation. So remember what you're doing is when you're giving to yourself, you're giving to the world at large. We are all this in this ecosystem together. And so you're filling yourself and you're filling others, and it's then beginning to just flow. You can become a conduit, and this love just flows and then flows out, and it goes around and around and around.
Yeah.
We are already complete, and here's the beautiful thing, that when we keep giving, we will realize that we are not lacking any more than when we first started giving. In fact, more and more is coming back to us. Lillian, it's like, the plant that when you take a clipping from the plant,
yeah,
and you cut it off, and that doesn't kill the plant. In fact, sometimes the plant can thrive more. And then you've got this other piece here that can be planted, and then it begins to bloom and grow. And so then you've got double that's happening, that's going on around. And that's what I liken, generosity of yourself and to others about. That's pure love.
Okay, so absolutely, it sounds ideal and it sounds wonderful. So here's the thing. In the Course of Miracles, it says, in the Bible, and as we've learned, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And going back to, you can never drain the giving when you are filled, when you're giving from a place of abundance and a place of love. But when you are giving, rolling your eyes, a place of lack, from a place that, then that's a totally different giving. Would you like to address that?
Well, I would dare say that that's not giving. That's totally not giving. It's not being available. It's almost like that's a false giving, because you're not wanting to be there. You're not wanting to give, because you're simply not giving. You're not present to give.
Correct.
And I mean, and I get that it's hard sometimes. I could imagine, I can only imagine being a parent would be one of the greatest challenges, because of how tiring it would be to somehow drum up this energy to have to keep, to wanting to keep giving through all the frustrations and the trials and tribulations. And this is when it is so important. It is so important that as a parent, you would need to take time, no matter what it is, a small moment, a small opportunity to give to yourself, especially during these really, really difficult times. That might be treat yourself to an ice cream or a pizza once in a while, or take yourself out to a movie or whatever it is. But this is so, so important as a person that just continues to do their best to give. So,
very good. Very good. So as you have been noticing this generosity of love, how we can never outgive our Creator. So here we are thinking that we're giving, but we're receiving. So you get what you receive. So when you're coming from a place of abundance, then you're going to be receiving. But what about people who give and give and give, and that's where they find their value, but they neglect themselves?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And ultimately, they'll end up not being of service to anyone, because they will run out of steam if you keep giving and giving and giving and absolutely neglect yourself. It's an interesting point, this. I just gave myself a weekend away in the Flinders Ranges in this past weekend. And I'm going to tell you something. On Saturday and Sunday, I thought that I've had so much work, and I even got a little angry with myself for going and taking time off, because I thought I have so much work on. Something just pushed me through that barrier and said, no, you must go. You need to get away. You need to stop giving. And I did. And what's happened is, during that time away, it's absolutely recharged me and recharged me with so much more love and so much more
Good for you.
enthusiasm and energy. And so here I am now presenting on love. And so, yeah, look, I could relate to that. I could relate to the giving and giving and giving. But if we don't stop, if we don't nip it in the bud, I've heard of so many cases of people breaking down and then literally not being able to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Just having no energy left at all.
Yeah.
We have to be wise to that.
So there goes that you got to treat your neighbor as you treat yourself. So if you're treating your neighbor with a lot of love and you're not treating yourself with that love, then that's not a good place to be in. So what I'm hearing you say is that in order to treat your neighbor as you would treat yourself, or no, not, love thy neighbor as you love yourself, not treat your neighbor, but love thy neighbor as you love yourself, then that's even more important that we choose love for ourselves first so that we can come from a place of abundance.
That's absolutely it. Yeah, love your neighbor as you love yourself is great, and it's true, but it's only true in the sense that if you don't love yourself, then you've canceled out the equation straight away. It's not going to work for too much longer.
Nope, it won't. It won't. It's not good. It never is. And once we are out of balance, everybody knows. We can try to hide it, but our behavior and all the things that we do or say to ourselves. So the whole process is with A Course in Miracles is that what we believe, there are certain things that are certain, but the majority is unreal. Where does love fall into that?
I think love is all encompassing, is like pure consciousness, and love is the realness of it all. I think everything stems from this love. I'm just trying to think about the unreal.
Fear. So the opposite of love is fear.
Yeah.
And I have heard that so many times, but it started, the first place that I guess I would have heard it from would be in A Course in Miracles, or perhaps maybe back to the Bible, because that's what they did. They took those scripture verses and they dissected it, because they started off as atheists, right?
Yes. I think psychologists and yeah, definitely the lady was an atheist.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how just trying to disprove the existence of God got them closer. And that was the second time the person I was talking to in Israel today, they were saying that he took theology and in Oxford University to prove that God did not exist. And he came back with such a passion for God.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's beautiful.
So let's talk about the trust. Let's talk about trust, because I know that that's another thing you want to talk about. And when we are, it's like when we give love or when we experience love, we want to be able to trust that that's going to continue, that we're not just putting towards or wasting our time giving love to someone who we cannot trust.
This can be really difficult, because especially when we've been hard done by. And so of course when we're hard done by a particular person, or if it's been so often that we begin to shut down all trust completely. And this is where I think that we might have to rebuild right from the beginning again, to begin to have to retrust again. And I'm not saying this is easy, and this could take years or a lot of work. But truly, we can't live fully. And you'll hear my dog walking around.
Let's check
Dharma.
Yeah, let's check Dharma out.
Let me get my camera here.
How old is Dharma again?
I'm not sure if you can see him there. There he is.
No. Oh, there you are, Dharma. How
He's
cute.
going on 20. Oh, he's 19 at the moment.
I have never heard of a dog that old. Maybe I've
Oh,
heard of cats that old, but not a dog.
oh, he's beautiful. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that if we can't trust, then we're not living life fully. And one of the greatest things that I enjoy doing, and I know some might think I'm crazy, but I really don't care anymore because it's proven me right, and that is to begin to trust the untrusted.
Tell us more about that. Give us an
Okay.
example.
I've got many examples of people where people have said that I've taken in a homeless person. I think what happened, here's the thing. When we give to the untrusted, it's silly to say, but yeah, people might warn you against someone and go, don't trust that guy. And with love, I truly believe that you can break down all the past. It just crumbles away. And who that person is can begin to shine through and as a new them. Though they might have been untrusted in the past. They might have this so-called reputation. Mm-hmm. But through doing that, I've proven to myself that this is simply, you can turn things around. Now, I'm not saying to go in blindly, but if it's a gut feeling that you have about trusting someone, someone has said, don't give them a chance, they're no good. Well, it's worked for me a number of times that I've been looked after and it's been safe, and that has begun to help to rebuild that other person, mm-hmm. To shine their light and to say, hey, someone trusts me again. Maybe this time I can prove that I can do this or that I'm okay. And so I think you're giving the greatest gift if you can do that.
That is very selfless. It's sometimes very difficult to go against somebody's past, somebody's history. I mean, if we don't know history, we're bound to repeat it. And so, but there's another side of that, which is that when you hold someone to a higher level, like when you hold someone to excellence, as opposed to hold them down to their past, then you help them come up to that level.
That's it.
Is that what you're saying? Okay, so
that is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
So when you hold somebody, because our thoughts are frequencies, and people, especially if they're a receiver if they're empathic and they're receiving that energy, they know what you expect of them. Even though you say, oh yeah, I believe in you, but deep down inside you're thinking, I wonder when they're going to fail again. That yes. I wonder how or when they're going to fail again is louder, even though you're not saying it, is louder because that's the frequency you're emitting. You're not being real about it. You want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't think that just because you're not speaking it, that if you've got those thoughts, oh my, they're going to come forward. And you've walked into a party, into conversations where someone's putting on a fake smile and going like, and you can see it and you can feel it. You can feel it that this person doesn't like me at all. And it's off the front.
Yes.
Off the front.
But we also have to be careful because we may not like them and we're seeing in them what we feel about them. So it's cleaning the slate. Love is choosing to clean the slate. And and maybe not just blindly, like you said. You said not blindly. Maybe it's with some parameters. Hey, listen, I know that this is your past. I'm willing to give you a chance. Are you willing to rise up to that next level? Because say it out loud with your intention. And when it matches, then that's
Bang.
even better.
Bang, spot on. Yes,
Good.
and that's powerful. That's
Sure.
powerful.
Okay, speaking of powerful, I want to take a little break because we're not taking breaks anymore to go to commercial breaks. We're just going to continue going on. But I have to be fair to my sponsors. It is very important that we help grow the show. And let me tell you, Jason, I have been so excited to see so many people going to my YouTube channel and so many people liking us on Facebook and so many people. So I want to encourage all of you, if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, please share this. But I also want to remind you the importance of these sponsors. Without our sponsors, the show would not happen. So I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Please become a subscriber. And once you are at whenyouneedafriend.com, you have the whole entire library of how to grow with each other. This is where we take 100% responsibility and we learn a different truth. It's a new truth. It's a different way to see life because we've been taught and we've been trained to believe a certain way. But perhaps that's not the best way to love our neighbor the way we love ourselves, to look within ourselves. So I want to encourage you that while you're there, you click onto the YouTube and you subscribe there. And when you subscribe to YouTube and my whenyouneedafriend.com, the show gets sent to you, the audio, and if you choose to, and also the visual. And it will come to you so you can watch it again at your convenience. And I know that we have some wonderful people, including Jason, on the show. There are teachers, and I'm so excited about our teachers. And the more we get people to love the show and follow us and like us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube and Facebook, the more greater teachers and the more teachers we can have on the show. And so please help me grow the show. And while you're there, please check out Liberty Health Share. They're my featured sponsor. Without them, oh my God, they're so wonderful. There's Liberty Health Share, Keep Me Safe Organics, First Alternative Care for $35 a month. You can have 24/7 for medical help for the entire household. That includes family practice, dermatology, and 3 hours a year of mental health counseling. And that's $35 a month for the entire household. And a household could have a visitor, and the visitor is included as well. Very First Alternative Care. If you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, you can just click on it to learn more. And we also, if you're watching from Brevard County, specifically Merritt Island, the pharmacy is just unbelievable. I think I got all my sponsors. Oh, yes. And if you're listening in the Jacksonville area, watching in the Jacksonville area, we have a new sponsor, and he's a functional, alternative, holistic doctor, and he is Dr. Stephen Grable. Absolutely phenomenal. So I want to encourage you to support my sponsors the way they are supporting the show. You can follow us on podcast, and we're on every podcast, and these shows are available so that we can grow. So I call this the Lillian McDermott Radio Show /classroom, and we're making it more of a classroom. So please join us and share this information. So Jason, I'm so grateful to you. You're such a wonderful friend of the show. Let's talk about how people can get a hold of you. Where do you want people to be able to promote you?
Sure. You can go to www.jasonstephenson.net. That's my website, and that will point you in all different directions. Mm-hmm. If you want to just go straight to YouTube, you can just type in Jason Stephenson, and that's Stephenson with a PH, STEPHENSON. Mm-hmm. If you just type in that, in YouTube, you will find literally hundreds of guided meditations that you can do to help you to love yourself, or to help you to give yourself that gift of love.
Yes, it is. And then there's the other website that you are, the other YouTube channel that you are building.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got Life Expansion. If you look up Jason Stephenson Life Expansion, that's where I'm going live, and I'm beginning to have guests on that program, and Lillian is going to be a future guest. There's no doubt about that.
I'm excited.
I'm beginning to build up my experience too in interviewing others. So it's a new journey for me. So please join me there. And I've also got a chakra healing music YouTube channel as well. So you've got a few to choose from.
There is. And I love how, Mondays we are doing, the meditation Mondays. And now we can really focus on, how do we become a better person? How do we become the person that we were created to be? And meditation is certainly a link to that. So let's take a little break here because we have 78 comments since we've been talking, Jason. So so I know that there's so many of you. I want to say hi to all of you. Barbara Scott, time for ourselves is just so important. I'm glad that you gave yourself a break. And by the way, Jason, I was at an Ayurvedic retreat this weekend.
Oh, beautiful.
And someone did Reiki on me. And we did, there's crystal bowls. She was from Spain. She kept calling them crystal balls. So it's we laughed a lot this weekend too. And so we learned about Ayurvedic clock and we learned about acupuncture. It was wonderful. So let me check and see what people are saying. Solomon and Tanya, love is the key for healing. Yes, that's right. That is absolutely the truth. Is there such a thing as a fake love, Jason? Is there such a thing as a fake?
Maybe that's an illusion too. Well, it's not real, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So possibly, that's it's not real.
Yes.
So I think I said that, a fake love, but it's actually not real anyway. It doesn't exist.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion.
And I remember, I don't know if you know who JP Sears is.
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Okay, so JP Sears was on my show for like 18 months every month. And then he got he started off at 25,000 when he was with me when we first met each other. And in 18 months, he was like almost at $1 million as well. And, and one of the last things I said, I'll tell you the first thing I said to JP when I first met him. I said, I love you. I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're poking fun at some serious stuff, making us laugh at ourselves, our serious stuff.
Yeah.
And he said, well, thank you, Lily, but you love the illusion of me. And I thought that was interesting. That really pierced my heart. Aren't we all an illusion? So that was the first thing he ever said to me when we first met. And the last thing I said, JP, I hope you will never forget me, that you will remember the small people as you continue to climb up. And he said, Lily, I have already forgotten you. He's so funny.
What a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man. Yes.
That's great. That is so good.
Yes. And so Solomon talks about communication and loyalty would be the key for trust. Yes. I think that if we really said what we have to be politically correct, right, Jason? But do we?
Well, no, we don't. I mean,
say more.
But be prepared for the backlash if you're not politically correct. But yeah.
Yes. So Anne says love, trust, and respect. And Barbara says love. So the greatest of these are love. We can add, love is a synonym for God. Like when we love, the divine becomes part of us. I see you nodding your head. What do you say about that?
That's it. That's my belief. It's simply belief. But yeah, I believe in essence that we are God. Each and every one of us, because there is no separation, and love and God are one and the same thing. And so we are love and we are God. And I'm not trying to take
sacrilege
away.
For some people.
I get that.
And I will tell you that I am in line with you. I am in line. And that is, when we think about religion and we think about the Bible, I don't think any of us have read the original intention or the original writing. Now, they were interpreted the kings interpreted this. And keep in mind that if I'm a king and I want to be powerful, I'm going to manipulate. I can manipulate words. So, I mean, there's such a terminology now called gaslighting, where people say things to manipulate, even though they're not real, they're manipulative. And so I can tell you, you're doing something, but you're really not doing it. The person who's doing it is me, and I'm manipulating you into believing that you're the one that's doing it. And so there's such a term, as gaslighting. Well, I wonder, and I know that I might get, and fortunately we're at 92 comments, and I'm not good. I don't know if I'll be able to get to them, but I wonder if that was something that they did to the Bible to create separation so that the king would be more powerful. But in our readings of Jesus and God and Buddha and Gandhi and all these wonderful leaders, they became one with each. There was no greater, and there was no lower.
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, and I'm not, when I say, that we are all God, and I'm certainly not coming from an ego point of view.
Correct. I totally get that.
Saying that, I'm saying that and it sounds like I'm higher than anyone or anything like that. It's saying that if God is everywhere and is in everything, then everything in this planet becomes an aspect of God and of love. And so that's definitely the place where I come from there.
Yes. And so I'm seeing some comments about that because let's see. I was out into nature Sunday and meditated, sitting with Mother Nature. So good. That is such a wonderful way to love ourselves, to replenish ourselves through nature. Nature has a frequency that fills our love bucket.
Oh.
And it heals our body.
Definitely.
Say more, Jason.
That's what I did on the weekend. And I went on bushwalks and just was out in the middle of nowhere. And as exhausted as I was when I came back, at the same time, I was just buzzing with this, with this energy that Mother Nature has instilled within me. It was just such a gift. And it was well worth the trudging and the walking up the hills and everything. It was just so beautiful. So.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you. I've got to read this one. Oops, I just went up. Okay, so Ibrahim, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. My religion is Islam, and I am not Muslim if I don't love others like I love myself. I have attended service at a mosque, and it was right after the Pulse shooting. I don't know if the news made it to Australia, but there was a place in Orlando. It was a gay.
Oh yes, yes, I remember that one. A nightclub.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a monthly show that, like a segment, and it was called "Breaking Down the Walls of Religion," because really, what separates my religion from your religion is a door. So I went to every religion I could find. It was, of course, the Christianity, because that's where I identify. And so I went to Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist. And I remember the week we had set up that we were going to go to the mosque and with the imam that was there. And the shooting occurred like that week. And I got a note from the mosque, the person that was going to give us a tour. And she said, we've had death threats. I'm not sure you're planning on coming. And I said, I am so there. We will worship together. That, religions keep us separate. I think that even if we think they're polytheistic or monotheistic or whatever, we all have one thing in common, which is to love. That is the synonym of God. God is love. So would you like to add? So, I want to say that is the belief, Rob. Love others the way we love ourselves.
Yeah, and you hear that so often, and on fights on social media where people say, religion is it's terrible, it's this, it's that, and everything. It actually doesn't have to be at all if we embrace all religions and recognize that, yes, there are extremists, and there are extremists in everything of the globe, in every religion. So we don't have to turn against different religions. We can love and embrace all religions. And wouldn't the world be such a beautiful place if no matter what the name of the person was, and no matter what religion they were or what color they were, that we could just embrace them and just accept that and be open.
Yes.
Be open and realize that it's not necessarily the religion there might be some aspects of religion that we need to change, and we can work on that. But as you said, Lillian, the thing is, we all want to be loved.
That's right.
And that is all there is to it, everyone.
So let's take it to that next level, Jason, because I know you want to talk about forgiveness. And so that certainly plays right into forgiveness. Let's talk about that.
And this is I think this is another one that can be difficult for a lot of people, especially if you've been through, traumatic events. Someone, people have been through murder, people have been abused, etc., etc., etc. And I think forgiveness is not about saying that you accept what has happened to you.
Yes.
It's not about that. I think it's about recognizing a point where you say to yourself that I no longer want to carry around this burden of anger, of hatred, of bitterness, and that I want to release that. And so it's working on yourself. And in doing that, you're letting go, and you're acknowledging what has happened, of course, but you're letting it go, that you don't have to carry that around any longer. You see, there's 2 points I want to bring up here.
Okay.
About 7 years ago, I was assaulted in my home, and I had my jaw broken in 2 places and all my teeth smashed in.
Oh, wow.
And for 1 year, I lived with a lot of anger and revenge, and the case went to court and everything. And I was so angry and so hurt. And a year later, 12, 13 months later, I forgave and have totally forgiven, totally let that go, and filled myself in doing that with love. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying to everyone, you've got to forgive, or you've got to go out there and do it now, or whatever. But I do believe in your time when things are ready for you, forgiveness is key to opening yourself up to more trust in the future, and letting go, because sometimes that perpetrator, again, I'm not making excuses, okay, for violence. I am not making excuses at all, but that perpetrator we don't know what has been going on in their life either. And your act of forgiveness may in fact change that person. As we talked about, raising that vibration, you're giving that person an opportunity to blow their mind, actually, and go, whoa, yeah, I've been forgiven. And so a change can possibly occur in that other person as well. But this isn't about, as I said, this is not so much about the other person. It's about saying that I no longer want to carry this hate within me, this hatred and this wanting revenge and this bitterness and talking about the person. And so I let go. And I mean, I don't know if you've heard of, see if I can get this name right, Immaculée Ilibagiza, and the Rwanda genocide, right?
Oh, yeah.
Her entire family brothers and mother and father were killed, and grandparents and friends and everyone around her, and the trauma that she went through would be absolutely unspeakable.
Mm-hmm.
And within months, she forgave. And because she recognized that she no longer wanted to live with that, to carry that around, and her parents and her family would only want her to live with joy.
Mm-hmm.
And so she chose that and chose to forgive the prisoner at the time who was locked away in prison. It's
a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. And there's a lot of stories like that we can, and, I know that we're going to, once we get done with the show, we take a little bit of extra time for the people who are alive, and we can maybe focus a little bit more on that. But in the Course of Miracles, there is, I don't know what number it is, but it says it is a privilege of the forgiven to forgive. It is a privilege of the forgiven to forgive. And so with that in mind, I was thinking, we have the saying, forgive and forget. And I think that forgiveness, just like responsibility is like blame, shame, fault, and duty. And the responsibility I talk about on the show is ownership and empowerment. That if I created something, if I take responsibility for this, that means I created it. And the good news is if I created it, I can uncreate it. I can create what I want because I am a co-creator of this. But I think that the world has this forgive and forget. And when you forget, it's kind of like the equivalent of absolving the other person of wrongdoing. But what we're talking here, and I did a meme, there's a couple of memes that I've done when it comes to forgiveness, and I've written lots of articles on it. But I changed it to forgive and grow. So when we forgive, it's well, people say let go, but we grow. We go to that next level of this isn't real. This holding on to hate, holding on to fear is an illusion that somehow that is going to create something different. Yes, it will create something different. It'll create a bitter life. So the sooner we forgive, the quicker we grow so that we can embrace the life that incident gave us, that lesson. And I know it's a horrible lesson to have to learn and grow that way. But like you were talking about, that act of forgiveness can change. I have a story about that we'll maybe let to later if it comes up again. But that act of forgiveness could potentially be exactly what I needed to get to that next level of what is real, which is love. The only thing that's real is love. From that illusion of the drama and the trauma that's going on around us.
And it took me, it did take me some time, as I said, when I had to forgive the perpetrator of the crime, and a lot of soul searching and a lot of counseling, I might add as well.
Yeah.
Because I lived in fear. I was living in fear.
Sure.
From that attack. And so, yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but then again, maybe it can be.
Yes. Oh, they're asking for a healing meditation after the show. We're going to do a healing meditation after the show, whatever you want to do, maybe a love meditation after the show. So there's a couple of things, honesty and vulnerability, which we've already tapped into, that we need to be real with our words. And we also need to be loving with our words. So you can be, like we talked about, we don't have to be politically correct, but prepare for the backlash of it. But we can be loving, we can be honest and let's talk about vulnerability.
Well, many people think that being, this vulnerability is showing signs of weakness, or that you're weak, but absolutely the opposite. Putting yourself out there, being vulnerable is an absolute act of courage, and living fully in the present moment, no matter what the external no matter what the outcome may be. It's putting yourself up and putting yourself out there. I say it's actually living 100%. And I will tell you, Lillian, even coming on your program, for me, it's many moments of vulnerability, because sometimes even beforehand, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I think I told you this, I come up with this idea to talk on love. And then there was that voice that said, who am I to talk on love?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are talking on love?
Mm-hmm.
But then there was this voice that overpowered and said, who are you not to talk on love?
That's right.
And I'm like, wow, okay. So here I am. I'm going to talk on love, and I'm putting myself out there. I'm being vulnerable. I'd never try to think that I know more than anyone else. I struggle just like everyone else, but I just want to be my best, to give my best, to be of service. And who knows what people can take away from that. And if that means being vulnerable, then I'm up for that.
Very good. And I want to say, what we give to others returns back to us. And that's why I close my show with I'm here. Just remember, I'm right here for you when you need a friend. And please remember, I wish you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance, because what I give comes back to us. So let's give love, right? And we say, what do we say? So we love is the greatest gift. So I wish you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Very good. Okay, we're going to continue after the show, and we're going to do a meditation, and maybe we'll have time for the story.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
Okay, so thank you, Robert, for recording the show today. I appreciate you. So we can say, Kamala says thank you. Nell says, oh, thank you. You're welcome. You guys, we are here for you. We really are. Because in our journey, it hasn't been easy, but when we are grateful, doesn't it make gratitude makes that journey so much easier?
Oh, my goodness. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude really is everything. It does make the journey so much easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking down, I want to say Tracy is my top fan. I just want to say, I just want to acknowledge Tracy. And so Tracy she listens from London, from England, and I believe I got that right, Tracy? And so I want to encourage all of you to be top fans, not just on mine, but also with Jason as well. Go to his life expansion. And so as we talk about love, and you said, who am I to talk about love? There's that voice in our head that we have got to tame. We have to rewrite the tapes. What good is it to love your neighbor as you love yourself, and catch yourself talking about your neighbor. Catch yourself talking about your neighbor and listen to what you're saying about yourself. Those are the words, like that vicious inner critic. I took a course, and the guy says, we don't have a voice in our head. We have a committee. And he has a member in his committee, and his name is Vic. And Vic is vicious inner critic. But what are the other voices in our head? Who is part of our committee? What are those voices, and what are their names? And so by us, our words about others, if we truly listen, it'll give us a tip in who we are. So it's so important that we choose love. And I did a meme, and it's whenever anyone says I love you, I always say I love you more. I have that in my plaque, and I have a niece who's very highly evolved. She's very spiritual, and she said, Al, because I sign everything L, and for my nieces and nephews, I sign everything Al, Aunt Lily, Al. So my niece calls me Al, and she said, Al, love isn't a competition. And she said that to me, and I thought, oh, yes, it is, because whoever loves the most wins. We truly win. Whoever loves the most wins. And even if we're wrong, at least we love. At least we loved. Does that make sense? What do you have to say,
It
Jason?
does, but I like the fact that I love the fact that she said, "Love, it isn't a competition."
It is not.
I think that's really switched on. Really switched
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
But
Yes.
here's the thing. But when we love, when we truly love, we can't love more. We just can't if we're truly present and if we're giving and being of service in that particular point in time, in that moment. We are loving to our capacity.
You're absolutely right. Maybe I need to change my meme. Thanks a lot, Jason. You ruined my groove. Say, guys, you're getting the real conversation here. Okay. I want to tell a story real quick before we go. And this was a true story of a young man that killed a young boy. And during that trial, like you were talking about the trial, the woman, the mother of the child that was killed, and they were about the same age. These kids were about the same age. And it was over something really stupid. And that woman sat there the whole entire trial. And when he was sentenced, the young man was sentenced for life. And she was asked to give a statement, and she gave her statement. And as she was walking away, she looked at the young man. She said, "I'm going to kill you." And so some time went by. And I mean, the boy's parents and family had abandoned him completely. There was nobody there for him. But this mother was there. And so she started going to prison. And she started talking to him and coming in to see him. Every month she was there. And she did this for a long time. And since he was a juvenile, they released him. And when they released him, she asked him if he had a job. And she employed him. And not only did she employ him, she adopted him.
Oh,
and so she said to the young boy, "Do you remember?" Because, this young boy is she's going from, "I'm going to kill you," to this young man who became an exceptional human being. He was released for good behavior, and he got a job, and he started living with her, and he started becoming responsible. And she said, "Do you remember when I said I was going to kill you?" And he said, "Yes, I do. And I've always wanted to talk to you about that." And she said, "I did. I did kill you. And now look at who you became." So the story is, she loved him so that his ego and the side of him that was evil died. But the love can bring us to that next level of who we really want to be, a new chance. And I love that story.
What a beautiful story that is. Yeah.
Can you love like that? You're right. You can't love someone more like that.
No. Wow, what a beautiful story that is. Yeah.
And we all go towards the hate. We're going to go by, "Oh, she's going to hate them. She's going to make his life miserable." But she had a totally different intention. She loved that kid to a higher place.
Wow.
He took her only son.
I mean, but though, when she said, "I'm going to kill you," I mean, she probably at that time was seething with absolute hatred and anger and everything. No, correct?
Her goal was, she sat there, and her goal was to kill the young man he was.
Kill the ego, okay.
Kill the young man. "I will kill you." And she allowed the resurrection of a new birth, of the person he always could be. She saw in him what nobody else saw. So when this person started coming, and so the story is just a beautiful story that we are all capable of living.
Forgiveness, moving on.
But do we see how this woman created a new child? She created a new a life for herself. She had every reason to hate the man that killed her only son.
Of course.
She had every reason. But that is what we're talking about here.
Beautiful.
That love is a miracle, and it can change lives.
For sure, Lily. Sure.
So, with that in mind, Mr. Jason.
You were wanting me to say more, weren't you?
I want you to say more. I want to hear Jason.
No, like I mean, absolute full agreement with you, you know, with this and I'm still learning, you know, more and more each day. There's parts of me that still come up occasionally of the not self-loathing, but parts that I'm still uncomfortable with. Mm-hmm. And I'm still a piece of art in work, you know, I'm still working on this.
We all are.
Just like everyone else, yeah. But I'm recognizing the more I give myself that opportunity, the more to be vulnerable, the more to open up, the bigger the gifts that come rolling in, and the more the freedom. It frees you, and then you're in a position to be able to offer more to people and to yourself.
And I want to add, I was giving a talk, you know, I give talks, and I was giving a talk, and included in my talk.
Your volume's just dropping a little.
Oh, Lily. Is my volume? Is it better now?
Yeah,
this happened last time. I think I have like a time limit where people can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? Okay. Yes. So I was talking to this woman, and I was preparing for this talk. And then when we got to a place of forgiveness, and I talked about forgiving and growing, and, you know, the world says forgive and forget, and I say forgive and grow. And that was something I talked about maybe 7 or so years ago. But this talk I was giving, I was talking about forgive and grow, and the world says forgive and forget. She goes, I want to forget. I don't want to forgive. But I said to her, but you want to forgive so that it's not about forgetting. It's about forgiving, because I believe that the body is in alignment with our intention. And if your intention is to forget and not forgive, the body says, okay, let me give you some dementia so that you forget everything. And it's really important that we forgive, because this act of forgiveness heals our body, completely heals our body.
Yes. I mean, and she's saying, that lady's saying, you know, I want to forget.
Yes.
She will never forget.
No, you can't.
What she's doing is burying that hatred underneath, and that's seething inside. Yeah. And that she will not forget. She will die with that.
Yes, yes.
You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to die with an inch of hatred in my bones, you know.
And isn't it wonderful that you were able, that God gave you a lesson on forgiveness? I'm sorry that it happened the way it did, but if it would have happened any other way, would you have been able to claim such a victory over your life?
I'm just so happy the way it worked out. I mean, and as I told you, you know, I can go back to my journal and see I was writing in hospital whilst I was in hospital, and you know, I couldn't talk for 8 weeks. My mouth was wired shut. And
wow.
I was furious.
Of course. Furious. Did you know the person?
Yes, I did.
I'm so sorry.
But it's all good. As I said, it's all good now. But you know, the notes that I could go back in my journal of the anger that was coming forward, but that was also a part of the healing process of expressing it in the journal, you know, just writing and writing pages. I was just pouring it out. And here I am today. It's all gone. And it's been an amazing lesson on many different levels.
Yeah. And look at how you have helped the progression of your illness slow down because you were able to forgive. Because if you had bitterness and resentment, you wouldn't be able to control that. That's like a forest fire that gets out of control, and it takes victims along the way.
Hmm. Absolutely. I think it's all a part of the healing process for me, day by day, what choices I make, and that act of forgiveness would have been a huge part of my healing process.
Yes, yes. And we could do an entire show on just forgiveness, Jason, because
Yeah.
we could talk about love, and people conceptualize love, and they can fantasize with love, and they can do all these things, but forgiveness is forgiveness. There is no misinterpretation about forgiveness. You can misinterpret love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can make more of it. You can make less of it. You can do it conditionally, unconditionally. You can do it. There's so many different variations of love, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Friendship, agape. There's different love, different kinds of love.
Yes. Yes. But forgiveness, as you said, is forgiveness, and there's no escaping it.
No.
You either do or you don't.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's, here we are talking, and I'm going, wow.
Yeah.
That is.
And here's the thing, Lillian, too, that and it's no point in saying that, okay, well, I have to forgive, and so I'm going to just say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And when you don't mean it, and your volume's gone down again, I might add.
Oh my goodness. I wonder what's going on. Okay.
But anyway, so it's got to come from a place of truth, of really wanting to do it.
Yeah. Yes. And so can you hear me now?
It's quieter, but I can still hear you.
My goodness. I just think that I have like a speech quota. Like once I reach a certain amount, it's time
Cut
to
you off.
Cut me off. Okay. So with that, I'm just going to allow for, if you'd like to lead us into a meditation, maybe we can do a meditation on love or forgiveness, whichever one calls you. And then I can just quietly sit here and enjoy with all your adoring fans. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. So
Okay, so let's do this, guys. And if you're sitting upright, or if you're lying in bed, that's okay too at this point in time. And so we can begin just allowing your eyes to close gently, naturally. Let's begin just by taking in some deep breaths and sending that breath all the way down to that belly area, really feeling that belly expand as the breath goes in and goes back to the spine area on the release of that breath. And we can say for this, let's breathe in love, and breathe on the breath out, release tension, release worry, blow it away, let it go for this moment, even for this moment. If you need to come back to the worry or to the stress or the tension, you can come back to it another time. But for now, just release it and be present in this moment. And when you've taken those breaths, returning your breathing to a comfortable rhythm that's natural for you, just breathing in and out through your nose, really being present, really, bringing yourself to this now, and to recognize that this moment is all that you truly have. The past is an illusion, it's gone. The future is an illusion, it hasn't happened. So you just have now. And what I'd like you to do now is to visualize a golden light that is beginning to come down from the top of your head, the very center of your head, and begin to pour down into all areas of your body, flowing down through your head and your neck, this golden light. And what this golden light is a pure source of love energy. And it's going into all parts of your body, right down to a cellular level in your bones. This love is pouring in down through your chest and your stomach and your pelvis, right down to your thighs, down to the very ground. And sense it swirling around. And this love is healing parts of your body that need to be healed, releasing any tension that needs to be released. And also, it has the capability to heal and to forgive yourself, so that you let go and you don't have to hold on to any grudges within yourself, any parts that you might be upset or angry about that have happened in the past. This golden light recognizes that that is an illusion, and it's here to cleanse you. So the golden light keeps pouring down from the top of your head, and it's beginning to go out your toes and into the ground, releasing, cleansing and washing away. And at the same time, filling your cup with love. Just be with this for a moment, continuing to breathe. And feeling this buzzing throughout your body, healing you, energizing you, and ultimately setting you free, free of the shackles of your past and into this present moment. And you are free. And so it is. And just taking 3 deep breaths now. Releasing the last of that golden light that's seeing that draining out from your feet. And fully present, aware and filled with love. And in your time, opening your eyes and coming back to home. There we go.
Beautiful. Can you hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay. I guess my mic needed a little rest. What a wonderful meditation. You know, love is the solution to all our problems. When in doubt, go back to love, and we will find that that is the solution. And if we are finding that we're having a difficult time making a decision, make love the solution. And that solves everything. I've got so many people that have said, and you know, I wish I could just read them all out. But, you know, Jason, go back and read everybody's messages.
I definitely
and
will.
I will do the same. And so, you know, the Beatles, you know, love is all there is. All you need is love, you know, it sounds simple. Many of life's solutions are simple.
Mm-hmm.
But what we complicate is with the illusion that it is harder than it is. And if we were to, like that woman said, I am going to kill you, although the ego, a healthy ego is important, it keeps us, you know, I'm not talking about the kind of ego that makes me better than you, I'm talking about the ego that says, I am enough, that I am, I can do it. But when we are right now in a crisis, whether it's health, spirit, mind, body, if we turn to love, turn towards love, and start within ourselves internally so that we can bring it out and we can give from a place of abundance, things just change. Just change.
Sure do.
We go from being a problem to being a solution. And I love this topic. I love this topic, and I'd love to give you the last word.
As I said, I say, go out there from this moment and continue to give yourself as much love as you possibly can. Never neglect yourself, because in doing that, you will be an amazing spirit of service to so many more people. And you won't even have to speak, because they will recognize and they will see it within you.
Absolutely. Romans 8, the groaning of the spirit, even when you can't use the words, that groaning, that spirit talks to our Creator. It tells exactly what we need. And, like one of the quotes for, I guess I lied. I'm not giving you the last word, but I just want to go back to nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Love is real.
That's a perfect way to end.
Okay, guys. Please share this video. Go to our YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, go to Jason's YouTube channel, follow us, subscribe, like us, share this message of love, that love is a miracle, and that if you're dealing with a problem, love is the solution. Amen?
Amen. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go back and read all these comments because, Jason, you have the greatest fans. We have the greatest fans, huh?
Beautiful people. Yeah, absolutely beautiful souls. Thank you.
Till we meet again. Till we meet again next month. We have a date with Jason Stephenson in our own private meditation. How can we get better than this? I don't know. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep growing together. Please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Jason Stephenson wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. We'll see you.
Love. Bye.